World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving you that opportunity of your checkup from the neck up, getting your financial house in order. We're in the month of March. A quarter is passing us, and we got to get ourselves positioned and ready and be ready to make a difference in our financial house. Today, I thought it would be really wonderful. So we have a special guest for you today. I've been excited about this since she said yes. I think this knowledge that's getting ready to be passed to you is so important. But of course, we're going to do a little housekeeping. So, of course, we have rolled out the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker book. Okay, I think I got it all in there except for the authors. That's Tom Mathis and Steve Seabolt. And of course, if you'd like the book, you can get the book. All you have to do is send me an email at anagenterprisesinc@gmail.com and say something simple. I'd like the book. And make sure you give me your address, because people are sending and saying, I'd like the book, and they think it's an ebook. And that's not what it is. I'm having issues right here. Okay, now we got it a little straight. And so with that, it's not an ebook. It is a physical book. It will take you no more than an hour to read. Read the book. Why? Because a foundation is so important when you're dealing in financial literacy. It's just to understand the basics. How does my money double? How do I get an opportunity to get more financially literate? How do I take care of my family, making sure that everything that's needed? Do I have the proper protection for my home, for my life, if something should happen? These are the simple things. Do I have a will? Do I have instructions? All these things are so important. And we talk about that in the book. So just to add, this is Women's History Month. Ding, ding. Okay. And so, since it's Women's History Month, we decided also to start another book, and it's called How Money Works for Women. Okay, I got it here. Take control or lose it. Stop being a sucker. Okay, so take control. Why? Because almost 80% of the women will in this country will have to manage their money by themselves at some point. Now, it's been said, I don't know where it came from, but the statistics show that the average woman is not prepared to handle finances by themselves. They've relied upon their father, they've relied upon their husband, or some male, and they don't even know all about how money works, many of them. But the key is it's so important because women will have to manage their money and manage their finances, and it's good to know a little bit about it. So we decided to create a book. We have a presentation that goes with the book, a master class. And the way that the master class works is that it's, which I think is phenomenal lessons, is to utilize the lives of different individuals. And by doing so, pairing it off. So in the presentations, you get a chance to see yourself. So I will say that tomorrow, if you have time, go to wealthwavetv.com, wealthwavetv.com, and there is going to be a leadership live at 2 p.m. If you miss it, no problem. You can go anytime to wealthwave.com, wealthwavetv.com, and access the women's event. It's How Money Works for Women by Miss Kim Schooler, who is a phenomenal woman who was originally the president of World Group Securities Broker Dealership. Just blew my mind when I saw her in power, because that's what it's about, women in power. So I would implore you to definitely get an opportunity to tap into it and see what women are saying about Women's History Month. We have opened the door in so many industries. And Transamerica, I have to give them some kudos because of the fact that they are the number one broker dealer in bringing women into this industry. It has been a truly male oriented industry, and really white male industry for so long. But that has changed. That's changing. And of course, because I'm here too. So I just wanted to give you those tidbits. But again, this is all about planning, and financial planning is more important. It's interesting. So many people will plan for a party, a vacation. Well, how about planning for your future and making sure you have a plan? And if you have a plan, then you know that you're planning not to fail, as opposed to not having a plan and you're planning to fail. That's definitely happening because you need the plan to go by. So for those of you who really would like a plan and a strategy, we call it a discovery call. To be able to do that is to be able to see where you're at. And that's one of the things is that we have all of this stuff going on in our heads, where you're at. But then the key is, where are you going? That's the whole thing. If you have no plan, then you'll end up anywhere. So it's so important that you take the time and sit with a financial educator. It's not just about financial advisor. It's about the financial educator. Yes, it is an official designation to educate individuals financially, and then take them through the discovery call so that they can discover where they're at. And then after that, come up with some solutions. Now, at that point, now they can get to where they want to go to. But the thing is, they don't have to do it. There's no mandatory aspect to this. And again, there's a no obligated obligation as far as the free financial analysis that we do. Can't do anymore. But if you would like that, all you have to do is call 646-375-2121. Okay, so here we are, Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Network. And of course, we also broadcast through WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. This has to go not only just to have the information for you now, but to keep going. And the best thing that we can do as a people is to share the information. So invite, if you have a question, and I'm going to set up, I'm working with the producers now to set up a question and answer period so that people can ask their questions. I know you'll intimidated to talk about your finances sometimes. So I will do a question and answer for you. If you have a question now, you can place it in the chat room or comment, and they will get it to me. But it's so important that we start to deal and stop being secret agents about our life and our future, and open up the book and share, and then take care of it. You know, on the medical side, we think that once we get a diagnosis, it's the end. And it's not. It's the beginning, because you need to be able to know where you are in that level and then where you're going. Well, it's no different than with your finances. You need to know where you are and where you're going. And things change. Don't get me wrong. That's why you have to have a financial educator with you, because at that point, someone is able to say, oh, we're going to change, life change, something happened, and we need to change the pathway. So let's do that. Let's get busy. Let's stop coming up with excuses, and definitely stop being a part of the largest nation in this entire world, procrastination. We can do it. Okay, and so just another note, because before I get started with our guest, I wanted to make a statement. Many of you right now are receiving these 1099Ks, and you're trying to figure out, what is this? If you had money or transferred money over $600, if you transferred money on Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. If you did that, they are obliged to send you a 1099K. Now, if it was just transferring money to family members and back, no problem. The key is you just have to hold that record for 3 years and make note to who these people were who received this money. It is not taxable if you're just transferring funds, unless it's over the 15,500 or 16,500 now, which is over a gift tax. But that's on an individual. So don't worry about this. But if you get the form, even if you sell something on eBay, you'll get a form if it's over $600. That's the new tax law. If you transferred coins or whatever, there's a value to that. So it's going to show up in that. If it's over $600, it's going to show up on your 1099K. Now, if you in some way, shape, or form sold maybe a personal item and it was over $600, you're going to get the K1, but it's simple. All you have to do is show what you paid for it. So let's say, for example, you sold a cell phone. It was $1,200, and it's an old cell phone, so it's now worth $500, and you got $500 for it. Okay, so they'll give you, no, it has to be over $600. I'm sorry. So let's say they gave you $700 you got for it. So you spent the $1,200. So therefore, technically, you took a loss. But you might not want to claim that on your taxes as a loss. What you might want to do is just keep the record, because it is a loss, but you also had something called depreciation, meaning the usage of that item. So if that's the case, you really didn't get the loss. You had the usage. The only thing is now you have to just keep those forms to be sure that IRS will not come back and say you had income you did not report. And 3 years from now, you probably will forget what the whole situation was. So just put it with your tax records and make a note that you sold it on eBay or you gave this money to your cousin. It was, but it was transferred through Zelle, Cash App, and Venmo, and any of the other vehicles that are out here, such as even like an eBay, or some people came this year to the office and they had something that where they sold clothing and got the 1099K. So I just wanted to give you that heads up only because they're still issuing them, and people are confused about it. And those of you who do your own taxes, please make sure you check it out and file it properly, or know whether or not you have to file. Okay, that's my tax tip for today. And again, if you need tax assistance, Anaj Enterprises is here also for you. For all your financial needs, come to Anaj Enterprises. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to now, I have the honor of, I have a new friend. And when we're working diligently to take care of our bodies, because you can get yourself situated in finances and you're in a good thing, but it's not a good at all if you use all your money to keep yourself healthy and you have nothing to show for it because you've got all these issues. So last year I was introduced to this doctor who is a phenomenal dentist, and she's in Harlem. And I got a chance to hear some things that, they just weren't told to me. It's just like with money. Sometimes people, if you don't know better, you don't do better. So somebody's got to tell you some things to do. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Donna Williams.
Hi, good
Hi,
evening. How are you?
I'm good, and welcome to Access Wealth Nation. I am so glad you had the time for us.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful and so excited to be here.
Great, great. Now, Dr. Williams, and you have a facility in Harlem. It is the Morningside Dental Care.
Yes,
And just for the note, it's low. Okay, so it's put up here. So you see where it's at. You can make your telephone calls. And after you hear today, you can make your appointment. Because for some reason in our community, we scared of the dentist. And I don't understand it. So tell us a little bit about your facility, because it's like going home. I'm going to tell you, I've been there. Not only did I, but also uh, our brother Lloyd Strayhorn, who is an avid member of Soul City. We've been, and so tell us a little bit about the facility, because I see you had a dream and it came true.
So I will say that I moved to Harlem in 1994 and had been living in the Virgin Islands just prior to that, had an office there. But I moved to Harlem and I was going to the church that I attended. And I was speaking to some of the parishioners there, and they said, when we want to go to get quality dental care, we go downtown because dentists in Harlem are shoemakers. And I said, oh, no, 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 that can't be. I said, we have to ensure that we have quality care in our neighborhood, and we want to have our people not to have to go elsewhere to get their dental care. So in 1995, that's when I opened Morningside Dental Care. And I wanted to bring, and I have brought all the latest technology you can get in dentistry. And I wanted to make sure that our teams are fully trained on what is the up and coming, what's new, the latest in dentistry, so that we can give our patients the best quality care, the best service, and everything that's there available, so that they don't have to go elsewhere.
Well, you have accomplished it. I will tell you, the beauty is when you walk into the office, and normally when you go into a dentist's office, you got that music that you're like, okay, I'm going to sleep. But you got stuff pumping. And I love it, and the team you have developed is a wonderful team. They engage you and work with you and all the aspects. So my question to you is that how can we get people more involved in dealing with their teeth, their aspect? Because you shared something with me which hit real deep, was that we're sick a lot of times just because we have bad teeth.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what do we do, or what can we do?
So I say that your oral health is the missing link to your total overall health.
Mm,
So I see so many people, we get dressed up really nicely, we exercise, we take care of ourselves, we look really good, but we forget about the mouth. However, the mouth has more bacteria in it than any other area of the body. In a nickel size of spit, you have like more bacteria than the entire population.
oh my
So
goodness.
our mouths are really teeming with bacteria, and this is the entryway to other parts of the body. So when people have bleeding gums, sometimes they bleed, sometimes they don't, but you may have a little bit of red or pink on your toothbrush. And
Mhm.
generally, what we do is we just rinse it off and go about our day. But
Yes.
that red or pink is blood. That's a sign of infection, of active infection. Where that bleeding is where the bacteria actually can go from your mouth into your bloodstream and go to other areas of the body, other organs, and cause problems. In addition to that, we know that if you have a chronic infection, your body is constantly fighting that infection in your mouth. And
Mhm.
so it's actually lowering your resistance to other illnesses. So heart attack, stroke, diabetes, lung infection, Alzheimer's disease, even premature low birth weight infants are related to, oftentimes, to dental health and oral health infections.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, JP. Yes, I'm going, oh wow, too, because I just, I'm listening and I'm like, okay, leading to all types of illnesses that you think about your mouth. Okay, so I eat. Since I've been dealing with you, I have never spent so much time working on these teeth. It used to be, they teach you, you sing the little song. What is it? Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
2 minutes brushing. And then,
Yes, that's what I thought I thought I was doing something,
yes.
but I found out, and especially after Malika said to me, she says, that's not enough. You got to scrub a little. You got to use the floss. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just, if it was any way that we could prevent, and that's what the whole key is, preventive illnesses. We spend a lot of money having fun, but we need to get things together. So, in your opinion, how can someone really prepare? Like, okay, let's say they're in their 20s. Um, they probably have caused a bit of a problem in their 20s, but their 20s, how do they, because now I've got a whole nother side that I have to deal with. I've got to, when I do their financial plan, I got to put together a dental program.
So I'm so glad. And actually, I'm so honored that you have me on your show and we are talking about, oral health and your finances. It is so important and nobody thinks about it. So we have, we're using our teeth all day long. We're talking, we're eating, we're laughing, we're having a good time. And then all of a sudden, you eat something, you bite, oh, you get a toothache, then you go to the dentist. And really, dentistry, especially these days, has gotten, rather expensive. And so we don't have a separate pocketbook where we've always, where we've put this money aside. But
Hmm.
I will tell you how important it is. In 2012, the United Concordia Insurance Company did a study, and what
Hmm.
they found was astonishing. They found what we call comorbidities. So if somebody had, say, diabetes and gum disease,
Okay.
right? And they treated the gum disease alone, that they could reduce the healthcare cost by about $2,800 a year.
Oh my goodness.
If somebody has diabetes and say, I'm sorry, if they have gum disease and say they have heart disease, they could reduce, by treating gum disease alone, they can reduce their health care costs on an annual basis by about $1,090 a year.
Mm.
If they have gum disease and they have had a stroke and you treat the gum disease alone, you can reduce healthcare costs by about $5,000 a year.
Oh my goodness.
It's astonishing. If you have gum disease and diabetes, and you can reduce like hospitalizations by
Yes.
treating your gum disease, you can reduce hospitalizations by up to almost 40% by
Oh
treating
my.
gum disease. And so we don't realize these things and how, stepping back, like what kinds of things can we do to prevent us from having to take care of all of these problems? So prevention is the key. Prevention is the key.
It is so important what you just stated. $5,000. Do you realize that that could be used just by doing that? And they put that money to the side. They could have their own little retirement account and be millionaires by saving that way.
Yeah.
I'm floored. I just, I think that we don't understand how powerful what's going on in our mouths. We, like you said, we bite down. Matter of fact, that's how I got started. Was if I bit down on something, it cracked the tooth. Okay, so here we go. And you're thinking, oh God, I got to go to the dentist. And I think you said something to me while we were talking off line, was that the cost to cover just the basics has gone up as far as the lab cost and things.
Yeah. And it's, obviously people go to the dentist, and first place, you're in pain. And we have to give you a needle, so it's no fun. And then also you got pain because you've got to, you spend some of your money.
Hmm.
So you're going to the dentist, and we don't really understand why or what are the costs involved. But I will say that, just to the dental industry, costs are going up. And as you're, a dentist, they really, put prices up for a lot of things. But, in addition, our lab fees have gone up. In addition, people's insurance, on the other hand, has gone down. So when I started, people's max for dental coverage was about $3,000 a year.
Hmm.
Now, 1,500 if you're lucky. I
Oh,
see 750, so they're kind of inversely going the wrong way. And so it's really imperative that people, I'd say, take care of your oral health, prevention, 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 and make sure that you're getting your dental visits on a regular basis.
Okay, this is my dentist is encouraging me to consider Invisalign with
Yes. Stacy, people in the past, this is a wonderful question. In the past, or often people think of going to get Invisalign or what we call clear aligner therapy or any type of orthodontics. We thought it
Oh,
was cosmetic, but it's not cosmetic because if your teeth are crowded, your teeth will trap more plaque and bacteria. They're more difficult to clean, and therefore you can increase the incidence of having periodontal disease or gum disease. So
mm,
by straightening the teeth, that's actually a preventive measure to help to ensure that you have um, better health, better teeth, better oral health for a long period of time.
mm,
Um, I think two things. I think we spoke a little bit earlier, and I had this other study where I read, which said young children and teens,
mhm,
ages 4 to 18, who routinely visit their dentist at least twice a year, wind up with a savings of $134 per year,
mm.
and older adults ages 45 to 65 will realize a savings of about 219 per year. And these are people without comorbidities. These are just regular dental visits. So prevention is important. Going to get those regular dental visits, and that's something that we don't do. And we've got to change that.
No, I don't think people is a great information, truly. Um, I don't think we know the importance just by us talking today. I think is really because we had an oh wow, because people don't correlate the dentist, your teeth, with health. It's like, okay, but when you just said, I mean, everything, and I'm going to attest, this is testimony time. After I did the gum treatment,
Hmm.
my blood pressure is so low. My doctor is considering taking me off the meds.
Hmm.
So it's totally correlated. But
Exactly.
if you could just, I'm going to just ask you if you could just describe what that whole element with treating the gums, because a lot of people think that it's like horrific. Especially, I'll tell you, when y'all first showed me the video, okay, if y'all go to YouTube, when you see the video, you're like, oh no, 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 no. Okay, testimony again is not that bad. It's not bad at all. You're numbed up, you're feeling good, and you're not numbed up like when they do the root canal and you can't talk and all that stuff. So how does that in its overall, because you just said that the gums are basically the gateway to our health. How
Yes.
does that work, and when should someone get that kind of work?
Okay. There are different stages of gum disease. Early gum disease is called gingivitis, and
Mm,
that's just inflammation of the gums. But then once you start losing bone around the teeth, then it's called periodontitis. And so the thing again, as I was mentioning before, that periodontitis or periodontal disease is a silent disease. So you really don't know that you have it. You may just have some bleeding of the gums. Sometimes you may have bad breath, bad taste in your mouth. But when you get advanced to more advanced stages, that's when you can start to notice maybe changes in your bite. You may notice spaces opening up that weren't there before. Then eventually the teeth get loose, and then you wind up having to lose them. So once you start getting periodontitis and once you start losing the bony support around the teeth, that's when we come in to do gum surgery. The
mm.
traditional way of gum surgery was with a scalpel, and you open the gums up, you clean off the teeth, and you suture them back together. And that was the old way where people used to say they would rather lose their teeth versus getting that done again because sometimes it could be rather painful.
Hmm.
The way that I do it in my office, and I will say I was the second dentist in all of New
Yes,
York
yes.
to do this technique. It's called LANAP, laser assisted new attachment procedure. And with the LANAP procedure, you use the laser instead of the scalpel. You use the laser instead of the sutures, and it's night and day compared to the pain. Also, the healing is as good and sometimes even better because we see on the x-ray bony regeneration. And this
Mm,
is the only FDA method
mhm,
where that FDA approved method of regenerating the periodontal ligament attachment and bone that's lost. So in general, in the old way with gum disease, over time, you cut away, and then you wind up losing a lot of the gum tissue and you wind up having longer looking teeth. But
mhm.
this way, you can maintain the gum levels.
Oh, that is just awesome. And I know it does cost, but the thing that I would say to my audience is that just listen to the numbers that Dr. Williams gave us and how much you're saving in the long run. You know, we talk about the long run all the time about the cost of waiting, how much money I need to put away. I'm telling you, you have changed my world. I'm getting ready to set up in the people's financial plan. Okay, we got to put away a little bit for the dentist. We've got to be able to do our checkups. And because I'm getting ready to get the Medicare world. I'm entering into that world and I'm listening, and they don't give a lot for
Can
it.
I speak on that, please? Because
Yeah.
that's been very, very, very frustrating to me. Now they are starting to make little changes, but
Hmm.
and I've been doing this for 33 years. They literally just started allowing some dental benefits for Medicare, but
Mm.
in general, it's nothing. So
Wow.
imagine the time when you most need the help. You're no longer working, and you generally by this time have a lot more dental issues, and Medicare is not covering it. So it's really I'm glad that finally they're trying to do something about it, but it's still a work in progress. But it's
Because just like what you said is the labs are costing more, you know, and so that means you've got to come out of pocket. And if you're on a fixed income, what are you going to do? So it's up to, I feel like I need to take a mission on. So I'm going to have to carry you around with me a bit and tell folks, you got to put away some money so that the dentist can at least look and see what's going on. But
yeah.
like I said, I can attest that my blood pressure has definitely gone down because of the treatment I've gotten. And also, I know he'll probably get me for it, but Lloyd Strayhorn, he came, that's what pushed me to make sure I did what I was supposed to do because he came in smiling, you know. Look at my teeth. And I was like, yeah, okay, I got you, bro.
And think about this. Think
Mhm.
about how the first impression that most people make is with your teeth and your smile. And they say that you have a much better opportunity at getting a job or position when you have a wonderful smile. So if you're not taking care of your oral health, that can affect your job prospects.
That's true. And
So
also your job prospects, your relationship, because you know you want that person that says, "Hey, baby," and they got one tooth here.
see how you
Horrible.
go with
Oh, we
that.
got a question. What are your thoughts on oil
Oil pulling versus brushing.
brushing? What's
Yes.
oil? What's that?
So a lot of people in who are, holistic practitioners do use oil pulling. I personally will just have to say that it is actually the mechanical action of whatever plaque is so sticky
Oh,
that you can't really remove the plaque unless it's a mechanical action of a toothbrush, of floss, of I even tell people, as I mentioned, I work in Tanzania, and the mswaki, the miswak stick. If you
yes.
if you can take that and you soften it enough and you can use it in the proper manner, cleaning around the neck of the teeth, slightly underneath the gum line, then
Hmm.
it's that mechanical action that makes the difference in being able to remove, but even better than, even though, I mean, a lot of people use the water picks and everything, but toothbrush, that mechanical action versus anything else is going to make a difference.
Okay, so I got it because yes, I've had the nothing as nice as it working now that I know how to use it. The soaker brush,
So
soaker.
yes, yes.
I've learned. I got a new friend there. And another thing that I learned was that when you eat during that 8 hour period, the plaque is just waiting for you, coming for you. So we've got to learn and we've got to share this knowledge because again, did y'all hear? I'm sure you did. The money that we could honestly save for ourselves and do something else with it. Someone saving $2,000, if they save $2,000 a year, they would be able to definitely, by the time, especially a young person in their 20s, would be able to retire with about $1.6 million just by taking care of your teeth.
Your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth.
That's it.
And it's the oral health that we forget.
It is. Oh, what are your recommendations for? Oh, okay, you went away. Bring it back. Okay, for toothpaste and mouthwash products. Also, there are so many different kinds of flossing options. Do you have a preference?
Hmm.
You see, we done got folks interested now. I
Yes,
feel
you have it. These are like excellent questions. So, I don't necessarily have a specific brand that I would recommend. Some people prefer, and I do, as I mentioned, I have a fellowship in natural dentistry. So I, many years ago, learned about, you know, holistic dentistry versus what we call the conventional. And so actually in my office, we merge and both the philosophies. So I know that some people are, um, for using fluoride. Some people are anti-fluoride. Fluoride is more helpful while the teeth are still forming,
mm,
um, and versus, afterwards it can help to do a preventive coating, but then also there are some problems with, toxicity of fluoride and knowing the right level, because we get fluoride from our natural, from water, from other foods that we eat. So there's a lot of issues with fluoride. So I would tell people that you're going to choose what most feels comfortable to you in that area. And the toothpaste itself is good to help to freshen the breath. Um, I don't, with regard to a mouthwash, I would say anything that doesn't have alcohol.
mm,
Alcohol can actually dry out the mouth. You'll see certain things like scope, like Listerine. Now they do make the ones without alcohol because of the fact that alcohol can dry out the mouth and actually wind up having to use more mouthwash more frequently with the alcohol in the mouthwash. And then the last question was with regard to the type of floss. And that depends. There are some really, when people have very tight contacts, maybe a wax floss, or there's a glide floss, which is good for people who have tighter contacts. Sometimes when you have larger spaces, there are like a super floss, or even in certain cases with large spaces, you can even get like a yarn and to go into the yard spaces to help to clean. It's that mechanical action with whatever you find to help to remove the plaque and to keep the plaque levels down.
Oh, that's interesting. I just thought about it because I thought I was doing something with my water pick. Okay. But by the time I got to your office, I was like, I hadn't done a thing because when I saw my x-rays, I was like, oh. But does it help to have a water pick too?
It definitely, and now water pick they have so many different types of water picks out there. They help some, but I'm telling you, it's that mechanical action. An
Mechanic.
electric toothbrush, on the other hand, will help because it has the number of revolutions that it does versus your tooth. I mean, but versus you manually doing it is so much more. So I really am more pro electric toothbrush versus the water pick, if I had to choose one to go with.
I got you. Because yeah, they've got all these water picks. Okay, is there I know this person very well. Is there a way to prevent tea and or coffee? You ain't asking nothing about no coffee because you don't drink coffee. You drink tea. And I know who you are. Okay. So is there a way to prevent
Um,
the
you know, an herbal tea with, not a dark color, or using a straw, or just making sure that you're brushing the teeth as soon as you finish, because
You see,
that
that's what spoils everything. You get a good meal, then you gotta go brush your teeth and take the. You haven't enjoyed it. But the thing that got me was the 8 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get to the and but also you could just rinse
you can
and
rinse out, and that will help. But the key thing, people get tired and like, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to go to bed, and they just don't brush. No, go to brush. Do not go. Whatever you do, get back up, brush your teeth, because that is the longest time that you go with your mouth closed. That's when those bacteria build up. So lowering those level of bacteria before you go to sleep is crucial.
so I wanted to bring up what you're doing in Africa. I
Mhm.
I, I think that so you just came back.
Yes.
I'm glad you're back. And so tell us about what's going on there because you did something for the first time ever going that was able to be brought there.
So I we have there are two different projects that I'm working on in Africa. This is my passion project. My father actually wanted us to live in African country when we were younger.
Oh,
So we lived in Tanzania for 2.5 years. And he said that, he was so, he's a pediatrician, and he was so depressed seeing many children die from diseases that here it's really unheard of.
mhm,
So when they came back, my parents started an organization called AHEAD Incorporated. It's the
mhm,
acronym for Adventures in Health, Education, and Agricultural Development. So since 1985, they have, and I've been on the board with the organization on and off since that time. We
mhm.
have been taking volunteers to Tanzania primarily to work in the villages. And we just finished building a health center then there. We've put electricity in, at the schools. The, the things that they've done over all of these almost 40 years is really phenomenal. Um,
Mm.
I've gone, of course, and now leading, adding my dentistry. In the village, we have like a dental clinic there.
Mhm.
However, I have another project which I am doing as well in one of the main cities in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, and I actually opened a dental office there. And
Wow.
in the same manner with Morningside Dental Care, I took a lot of high technology, because one of the things, and this is where I don't know if you talk about, you know, investing in overseas, but an
Mm-hmm.
up and coming place is a number of countries in Africa. And
Mm-hmm.
investing in Tanzania has been um, pretty good. So the economy is now a middle income economy. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, why not bring a dental office and bring the same type of technology to Tanzania that we have in Harlem? So that's
Mm.
what we did. And this past month, I was able to take a laser to Tanzania. So I'm treating Tanzanians with who have gum disease in the same manner. So I'm so excited about that. Yeah.
That's so awesome because yes, we do talk about going home,
Mhm.
and that's the East Coast. I didn't think about. We just came back last year from Senegal and bridging the gap there from the media point of view for Soul City, but for me, it was financial literacy and specifically to the women. So yeah, maybe that's what I need to do is head towards. I have some friends that are from the East Coast, so need to go there and share.
So we have a woman president now. She's amazing. And the economy is, really picking up and doing extremely well. And
Mhm.
so, as we say in Swahili, karibu, welcome. And the
I love
women in Tanzania are like strong. They're like going for business, so it's really a wonderful energy when we go there and see what they're doing. So yeah, so we have to make some connections there.
Yeah, I think this is awesome because knowing how money works is worldwide, but also investing in things that are working towards best way I can say it, just not pussyfoot around. It's just putting stuff back home, going back home and doing something for us instead of waiting for someone else to do it for us, you
Yes,
know. And again, this is the United States. I got it. But there's something about going to Africa. And I would say to anyone who has the understanding, I have one of my associates, he's right there now in South Africa. And I'm a little bit jealous because he got to get to Victoria Falls before I did. That's on my bucket list. You know, but going home is that, and I really do tell folks, all that stuff that people say that, oh, the African people don't like us and all that.
that's not true.
That's not true.
Not at
It's
all.
not true. But if you go there and you act like a tourist, then nobody's going to like you. You got to go. Like I tell, when I went to Ghana and I stayed in Ghana, I went to Senegal, Nigeria, I say the same thing. I came home. So you gotta treat me like I come home. I'm family.
Yeah,
If you go there acting like you not family, then yeah, you get what you put out.
exactly, exactly. Yes, and but that's what we're, called the ugly American in many places, because we don't. But people love African Americans in Tanzania, and I've been to, West Africa, a few places, in South Africa, but throughout, and they so embrace us. And so we have to stop, we're all thinking that we're different, and see there's so many similarities. And if we can, like, all get together, we could take over.
It's real. That's the truth. That was in the back of my head. I'm glad you said it. But that's what I was saying is that we need to just reach out and embrace and deal with the Pan Africanism, because I know even when I went to Egypt and the guys were standing on the corner and one got up and he started diddy bopping. I said, see, ain't no difference. It's no difference. It's the rhythm. We got the same, we dance, we have the music.
We
Look,
do.
one
I
and
see my uncles or aunts or cousins in the villages sometimes. I'm like, that person looks so much like this person.
That's it. Well, this has been such a wonderful experience. I hope everyone understands that this financial investment in yourself, your health, number one, you need to at least see the dentist. Get there, even if it means you got to save up your coins. We talked about a few weeks ago about your emergency money. Well, this is where your emergency money goes. If you're going to hoard your fives, that's one thing, or save $1 for every week in the year, this will give you enough to at least get to see the dentist. And then we need to sit down and do a financial needs analysis so that you can put this in. Because if you come to see me at Access Wealth Nation, we gonna put in your budget. You can do your entire budget. You want the car, the house. Guess what? You need a dentist time. You need that money put away. And not just for medical, it's really for the dental. Because as you stated, Dr. Williams, is really true. There's less money going towards the major element, your teeth, that will save you. I had folks who are still responding to the fact that how much money people would save if they just took care of their gums and their teeth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we got a mission, and I'm gonna find a way to tag along with you when you go back.
Welcome. You're welcome anytime. And I'm just so glad that you're doing this and educating people, because it's so necessary. And I think you said something earlier about just, like just first, getting that exam just to see what's there. After you do that, then you can create a plan to take care of things step by step.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but at least you're moving forward. But being so fearful to the point where you're at inaction and you're not moving forward, it only can make the situation worse and make
Got
it
it.
more complex and more costly.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for spending this time with Access Wealth Nation. This was my dream, and now you made one of my dreams come true. And
Thank
hopefully I can get you to come back again, and
Absolutely.
we can talk, because I think I'm seeing some of the remarks is that they're really and again, as you hear, you need to know where to go. So you need to go to the Morningside Dental, put the thing up there. There we go. So that you go and get dental care. My producer's looking at me strange. It's like, I gotta do, and this is the website and also the address. Set your appointment, get out there and make it happen so we can live long. I had Dr. Jewel Pookrum on at one point. She was on Soul City, and that was one of the things that she said. We could live to be 500, but we need to take care of our bodies to get there. And so, but we got to be able to eat too. And chew.
That's how we can live.
That's how we live. Okay, so thank you again,
Thank
Dr.
you for
Williams. It's
having
been
me.
wonderful,
Pleasure.
and we will stay in touch. And again, to the audience, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something today. This was a very powerful piece, and listen to it again, because hear what you can do for yourself. And so again, this is Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving you that checkup from the neck up and giving you an opportunity for financial freedom.